Hello everyone, welcome to my class. In the previous episode, we have discussed about the concept of total product, average product, and also the marginal product, and finally came to know about how to find out the value of TP, AP, and MP with the help of a formula. Then today in this episode, I am going to discuss about one of the famous theory, that is law of variable proportion. Then let me discuss about that theory. The law of variable proportion. This theory explains the relationship between proportion of fixed input and variable input on the one hand and also output on the other hand. That means this theory explains about the fundamental relationship between fixed input and output and variable input as well as output. And also this theory applies in the short period. So as you studied regarding the short-run analysis, right? So in the short-run analysis, what at least one of the factors of production remain constant or fixed. So that concept we discussed. So like that only the law of variable proportion, here this applies in the short period of time. Here the law of variable proportional occupies an essential place in economics, and also it is called as proportionality. And this theory also explains the production function keeping the one factor variable and other remaining fixed. So this is what the law of variable proportion. So that the law of variable proportion say that the marginal product of a factor input initially rises with its employment level, but after reaching a certain level of employment it starts falling. Why? Because here a firm wants to expand its production and it cannot do so by increasing its variable input, keeping the fixed inputs constant, and as a result the proportion between fixed and variable factors gets changed. In such situation we can say that law of variable proportion. Okay, now let me discuss about in detail regarding this concept. As you know that already, law of variable proportion theory, it is also known as law of proportionality. That means when the variable factor becomes more and it can lead to negative value of the marginal product. And in another way, this law of variable proportion can be understood, that is when variable factor is increased while keeping all other factors constant, the total product will increase initially at an increasing rate, and next it will be increasing at a diminishing rate, and eventually there will be decline in the rate of production. That means when variable factor is increased, variable factor means what? The factor which is what keeps on changing, that is called as variable factor, and eventually there will be decline in the rate of production. This is what simply we can say that law of variable proportion. Okay, now let's discuss about assumptions of law of variable proportion. Then what are the assumption or how to assume this theory? So first one, constant state of technology. Means while assuming this theory, the technology is must assumed to be remain constant. Why? Because it is assumed that the state of technology will be remain constant, and with improvement in the technology the production will also improve. So why this theory assumes that technology remaining constant? Because if it is updated or improved technology, that has been shows that the production will also more or production will also increases, so that the status of technology is assumed to be constant. Understood? Why the technology remain constant? Because if the technology what updated or modern technology if you are adopted means, then definitely automatically the production is also increases, it move upwards. So that is the reason here we assume that technology is remain constant. Okay, then second assumption, that is variable factor proportions. That means factor proportions are variable. Are you know that, as you know that variable means what? Varied, keeps on changing, right? Here this assumes that the factors of productions, as you know that land, labor, capital and organization, so these factors of production are variable. Means this theory assumes that all the factors of production which are variable, but the law is not valid if factors of production are fixed. Okay, this theory assumes that here this assumes that factors of production are variable, but if it is law is not valid when if it is factors of production are fixed or constant. Okay, so that we can say that if factors of production are combined in fixed numbers, then the law has no validity and the law thus assumes factors of production to be proportional. Okay, in this way we can say that here factors of production are varied or variable. Okay, next third one, homogeneous factor units. So factor units that must be homogeneous in nature. That means this assumes that all the units produced are identical in quality, quantity and also price. Means for the assumption of this theory or for assuming for this theory, we must and should be use or assumed the units of products are in identical in what matter, that is in quality, quantity and also the price, or in other words the units are homogeneous in nature. So that is what third one. And fourth one, short run. This assumes that this law is applicable for those systems that are operating for a short term where it is not possible to alter all factor inputs. Thus you know that already this theory can apply only for the short period of time, not a long period of time. And also it is not possible to alter all the factors of a input or factors of a production. So that it is what? Short run theory. So these are the assumptions of this theory. Now we'll discuss this theory with the help of 3 stages. Stages of law of variable proportion. There are mainly 3 stages which discussed in the law of variable proportion. So those 3 stages are: first stage, that is we can say that increasing returns. Second stage, that is we can say that stage of diminishing return. And also third stage, that is stage of negative return. So these are the 3 stages of law of law of variable proportion. Okay, 3 stages. First one is first stage, that is increasing returns. Second stage, that is diminishing returns. And the third stage, that is negative returns. Now in detail we'll discuss one by one. So first one, first stage or stage of increasing return. In this first stage, here you just observe in the diagram also, the total product increases at an increasing rate initially. Dear students, just observe in the diagram also, in this first stage the total product has been increases at the increasing rate initially. See here, in the this is what first stage. Here the total product has been increases. Okay, and this happens because the efficiency of the fixed factors increases with addition of variable inputs to the product. So why this? Here total product has been increases at the initially in this first stage, because here the factors means fixed factors has been efficiency of fixed factors that also increases. So for that reason here total product increases. That means at this first stage the marginal product also increases. That is what? The total output increases at an increasing rate, and in this situation law of increasing return is said to be operate. Here the law of increasing return has been operated. Okay, so that we can say that in this first stage what the total product has been increases. That is what initially, this is what we can observe here in the first stage. Okay, then what about in the second stage? Dear students, again you just observe the diagram also. In the second stage we can say that it is also diminishing return. Second stage is what? Diminishing return. In this second stage total product increases at a diminishing rate. See here, here the total product has been increased at first stage, right? This one first stage, and in the second stage also total product increases, but it is not an increasing stage, but it is a diminishing rate. Okay, diminishing rate until it reaches the maximum point. So maximum point here, this one is maximum point. Okay, until this reaches, this is what? Diminishing rate. So this is what the maximum point of total product. Okay, and the marginal and average product are positive but diminishing gradually. And what about the marginal product here? So this blue curve is there, no? This is what? Marginal product, and pink one is a average product. So here marginal product also what? Positive in an average marginal product as well as the average product, but later on the stage it has been diminishing. That is what? Point M we can observe here. Afterwards it is diminishing. Okay, so in the second stage marginal product has been increased, but later it was gradually diminishing, and even though average product also later on the stage it has been diminishing. Okay, so that in the second stage the total output continues to increase, but a diminishing rate, it is not an increasing rate. Okay, and in the stage number 1 there it is increasing rate, stage number 2 it is diminishing rate, so that this stage continues till total product reaches the maximum and the marginal product becomes 0. So this is what the stage called as diminishing return. Okay, next, third stage, or the stage of negative returns. Then what about the stage of negative returns, or the third stage? So in this third stage, here you can observe the first one, total product curve. See, third stage, this is what? Up to this one, first stage. Next up to this, second stage. And this is what? Third stage. What about the condition of third stage in the total product? Definitely in the third stage total product has been declines. Right? And what about the marginal product? This blue color. What about the marginal product? Here marginal product also what? Diminishing, but it is reaches to negative. Okay, in the second stage marginal product is 0. Okay, under the positive condition. But in the third stage marginal product will be here. The negative stage you can see there MP. Okay, and even though average product, so this average product also diminishes here. Okay, so this is what the condition of what TP, AP and MP in the third stage. Okay, so that at this stage here total product starts declining and marginal product become negative. Hence total product curve starts to decline and marginal product curve moves below. So that is what we can observe in this diagram. Okay, so this is what the stage called third one, negative return. In this way we can apply the theory called law of variable proportion under these three stages. That remember that 3 stages also. In the first stage increasing return, there at the beginning only total product has been increases, even though marginal product and average product. Okay, but according to the second stage total product has been increasing, but at the diminishing rate. That only we can observe here. This is what diminishing rate at the maximum point, but the marginal product has been reaches to 0, as well as average product has been diminishes. And at the third stage you can observe that here in the third stage automatically total product directly you can see here it is completely fall down, okay, declined here. And what about the marginal product? This blue color lines you can see here. So the marginal product automatically reaches to negative condition, and even the average product also, that is what declines. Okay, so this is the theory called law of variable proportion. Okay students, I hope it is clear. So in the next class we'll continue few more concepts regarding this chapter. Until that you can practice this topic also. Okay, thank you.